Howdy. In this video, I will show you how to access your Ubuntu VM from your iPad. And for this, we're going to SSH into the VM that we have created in the previous video. And there is an application that allows you to do this that's called Termius. There is a freemium option that you can use. So you do a search and find the app called Termius, Terminal and SSH Clients. This is it. It's this one right here. So as you can see, it has a built-in terminal that allows you to access your machine. So mine is already installed. As a fact, maybe I should update. So it's going to update for me. It's pretty stable, so you could use it for your configuration. Okay, so my application has updated. Now I'm going to open it and we'll see how we can add or connect to a Ubuntu VM. So this is based on the assumption that you've already created your VM. And if you haven't, you can watch the previous video on how to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is to create a key. So you go to your keychain here, and the same as we've done for our MacBook, our computer, we're going to create a public key to use or to add to our Google Cloud environment. So you hit here, you want to create or generate a key. So here, generate the key. So we're going to choose RSA and 2048 and hit save. So our key is now generated, RSA01. That is the key that we just created. Now, the second step is to create an identity. So an identity pretty much gives or contains a username, a password, or a key. So here's an example of an existing identity that I have in here, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to create a separate one just for the sake of this tutorial. So create a new identity, and I'll call this identity Ubuntu VM. I'm going to put my username in here. Okay, and I'm going to put my VM password. So for this username, we did set up a password. So I'm going to enter my password in here. And next, we're going to add a key. So your key is here, is already listed. So we have RSA01. We're going to add that key, and then we're going to save. We now have an identity that will allow us to connect to our VM. So next, we're going to create a host. But in order for our host to be accessible, we need to have the key added on the host in Google Cloud. So let's go here. We have a key. We're going to get that key. You hold this right here and you have a share option, right? Or you can click on it and you also have a share. You're going to click on share and you can do a copy public key. So we'll put this, because I don't have my browser in here, I'm going to get this on the computer. I just do the trick of creating a note. You can just create a note in here and just paste that key as we just copied it. This is the public key. And next, we're going to move back to our computer and add that key over there. I am back on my computer. So on the computer side, I'm going to add the SSH key that I generated from my iPad. So here, metadata, we go to SSH Keys, edit, and add item. So we copy it, and you can do it however you want. You can send it to yourself by email, whatever you prefer, but I have it copied somehow from my notes app in the iPad to here. Or you can email it to yourself. It does not matter. So I'm going to copy all the way to here. You can ignore this generated by Termius string. You can just ignore it. And then just grab the key. This is the key right here, and then you're going to paste that key in here. Now it tells you already that this is an invalid key because we need to add a username here at the end. So I'm going to add a space in here, and I'm going to type my username. I can put my username here, David Kibo. Okay, and that's a valid key. I'm going to save now. It's very important that you follow this protocol, this format, making sure that you have a space and then your username at the end. Just type the username. So this is it. We have created our key that allows us now from Termius to access our server. Before I get back to the iPad, I need to know my public IP address. So go back to your VM instance, and this is the IP address that we're going to use in the host creation. Okay, so we're going to create our host now. That's going to connect to our virtual machine. So you go to plus here, new hosts. In the alias field, we're going to put Ubuntu VM. And the host name is going to be the IP address of your machine, the external IP address. Okay, so that's 34.135 to 143. Next, you can skip the group and tags. We don't need that. And we're going to use an identity. The advantage of setting up the identity that allows us to directly enter the information of our user. So as I do a save in here and I go to Ubuntu, I can select an identity to attach to this machine. I'm going to use the identity or Ubuntu VM that I just created and then hit continue. It's going to authenticate, and here you have a shell. You're logged into your virtual machine and you can do pretty much everything you want. You have GDB, GCC for compilation, same as you have on your computer. That's for an iPad. For those of you who have an iPad, then this should be very handy. You can run Python from your iPad, run your scripts, do your homework, lab assignments, whatever you want. In case your computer crashes or your desktop is on fire, anything happens, the advantage of having a cloud instance is that you're fully independent of any hardware. You can do your work on your whole or your cell phone if you like, your tablet, any other device. And that's it. So Termius will allow you to run pretty much from everywhere. And if you have a tablet, it also has a desktop application that you can also install. So this is it. Set up your keys, set up your identities, and then create the host. And you can have as many hosts as you want. Thank you.